he's still alive. Sound like kids in kindergarten. Stuffed noses. Hello, I can breathe. Happy Friday.
Morning, afternoon, evening, I guess depending on where you're watching from. You think we'll ever get somebody to watch when it's nighttime? It's daytime here. Got somebody from another country watching maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Where are they at? Where's everybody at? Friday afternoon, we're a couple minutes late. We have to charge our camera battery a little bit. Unless you get it back up. Chris is back. He's still alive.
Yeah. There's some bump going around. My dad actually, I talked to him yesterday, and he had it.
Yeah.
He said it was like a 24-hour stomach virus. He was like, "Who's blue?" So I didn't even tell him I had it. And
Yeah.
He was rambling on about everything he had, running a fever, this, that, and the other. And he was like, literally, like 24 hours later, he was like, I felt like it never happened. He was like, I had no after signs of it, no lingering.
Well, I wish I was that lucky because I'm on 2 weeks straight now.
Yeah.
Whatever this is. Who's sick out there? How you feeling? Where you watching from?
Yeah.
Hit us up in the comments. I'm Jim. This is Chris. They're the owners of Demons Behind Me.
I'm sure some of you guys are watching from the snow right now. Are you snowed in?
It's pretty much snow everywhere except Florida.
Yeah, it got cold here last night. We had the cold front. I think the high today is 43, so I think some of you guys would probably love to have 43 right now based on what I was seeing on the weather.
43
station. Some places 7 degrees. I saw in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly.
What's up, Donald? From Ohio.
Yeah, we just got an email back from our festival team that we work with. They're working up our contract, Michael is. So we will be in Ohio, hopefully looking like 2 times this year coming up. Well, first one will be for Sonic Temple, which is in Columbus, right on the campus of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Not a big fan of the Buckeyes, but that's okay. That's personal preference here. Go Irish. But then also be at the penitentiary there for incarceration, which is, if you've never been there, what was his name, Daniel or Donald? Donald, you need to check that place out. That place is spooky and awesome at the same time. So I'm hoping you can get up there this year for that one.
This year, we'll see what's shaking. Man, we got some really massive stuff in the works as far as production stuff coming up. We'll save that for when we actually get up and running. But we may create the opportunity for us to start to release a new shirt every month, maybe even start like a monthly subscription. Because long story short, we're gonna be printing our own stuff right here in Jacksonville.
It's a secret.
Which we do a lot of our printing now in Jacksonville, but we're gonna do it. Nobody else. Just gives us an opportunity to have some more control over our inventory, and we don't have to purchase minimum stuff like that. If we're producing our own stuff, we can print as we need it, and if something does really well, we can crank them out. If something doesn't do well, it doesn't matter. We don't have to print them. Just print what sells. So a lot of big stuff coming down the works. We just put a pretty funny video on our TikTok page. If you guys have TikTok, check it out. If you don't, I'm sure we'll have it on our Reels on Facebook and Instagram pretty soon. But as I said, I'm Jim, this is Chris. We are going to read a story today, a live story somebody shared with us at demonsbehindme.com under the resources tab. Share your story, help someone. This is their Demons Behind Me story. This is what Demons Behind Me means to them. This is a story about how they overcame a hardship in their life. And we share those stories because somebody's going through something similar. They don't know how they're going to make it through. Well, hearing how somebody else made it through is going to give them hope. And that's all we're trying to do.
That's it. These stories are randomly selected. Jim and I will go through. We'll go in there and we'll go in there and read one that kind of catches our eye. We've got stories, all the way back from 2019 that people share. So sometimes we grab some that are most recent. Sometimes they're a little bit older, a little bit, from a couple years back. The one I'm going to read today is from 2023, so it's a couple years back. But it's one that you know, I don't think we read a lot of stories that talk about what Penny's talking about here in her story. So try to change it up a little bit. You know, a lot of the stories we read, I feel like, have a lot to do with, you know, addiction issues, with substance abuse and stuff like that. Where this one here is going to hit on a little bit something different today. You know, when people speak about, you know, what is Demons Behind Me, you know, we always have to try to explain to people that we are not just a recovery brand. Is that something that people latch onto that are going through that? Yes, and you know, that's what we're here for them, as well as we're here for all these other people that have different issues that they're going through. You know, whether it be you know, cancer, a divorce, spousal issues, abuse issues, childhood abuse, whatever it may be. You know, we're trying to put that stigmatism behind everybody that, you know, we all have something that we're going through in some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah, remove that stigma.
Stigma, not stigmatism. That's my eyes.
It's definitely your eyes. We got some other viewers out there. Where you guys watching from? Hit us up.
That's funny.
Let us know where you're from. Let us know if it's snowing by you. We launched some new products last week. These are flying. We have our jerseys here. We're calling them our lucky jerseys. We got the green. It's kind of like a Boston Celtic green. And then, of course, we have our black with a little bit more of a neon green to it. These are flying. Get them now. What a great shirt for St. Patrick's Day. And just any time you want to wear a lucky jersey. I mean, these jerseys are awesome. They're probably my favorite shirt. I think now I have enough to wear 4 days out of the 5-day work week. I'm covered in jerseys.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Especially when it's hot.
When I was telling our employee Bond, who you guys have met through different things before, I said now I have a jersey for every day of every festival we go to. Those things are amazing to wear out at those festivals, those hot days out there. They breathe well, they're comfortable. We love having them, so it's awesome. We don't know which one of these we're going to keep. We may discontinue one. We may roll with both of them. So my suggestion is, if there's one that you like, or if you like them both, grab them now while they're in stock. Because once St. Patty's Day passes, we may move past one and just keep one.
Yeah.
Keep one on our list.
Sorry to cut you off. Rob, what were you saying? The Undertaker had our flannel on?
No way.
If you did, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, congrats, Donald, man. Keep moving forward. Hit us up on the side, man. If there's anything that we can do to help you out, maybe send you some wristbands, something like that for the host spot.
Yeah, I have to check that
Love
out.
to do that stuff.
I think that's on it's actually, I know what he's talking about.
The show?
The show. It's on maybe it's on Netflix now? I don't know. I had to check it out because I know that they're playing that stuff. Dark green flannel on the first part of the Raw WWE.
LFG show.
LFG. All right, we'll have to check it out. See if we can locate that. Can we use that footage?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Yeah, well, Undertaker's a biker, so it kind of goes with that realm, I guess. You know, we do a lot of business with the biker community. We both ride when we can, get out on them. One other thing we just launched yesterday is
On A&E. Got it. All right, man. We'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, perfect.
Who we got? Roxanne, welcome. Awesome. Appreciate you. Keep us posted. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, new hat we just released yesterday. Kind of a cool concept hat. It's a Jim and I like to call it kind of like what we're calling our two-faced skull. Two-tone. So it's kind of got like a two-faced design kind of thing going on. If you're into the Batman kind of trilogy type stuff. So these hats, this one here we ran for St. Patty's Day, so it's the neon green and the gold. But there will be other color combos coming out in this, so you just gotta keep your eyes open. It's not. We're gonna swap these up. We're gonna keep these things going come out with something different every week.
Yeah.
We've already been playing with some other colors already. So we got some new hat out. We got another new hat that the girls are working on right now upstairs. It's going to have a Phoenix look to it. So if you like the Phoenix design, we're actually got a hat that's going to come through with that.
So I'm going to show something that we're playing with, a concept. And I don't know what you guys would think. I'll show you a couple details. Absolutely top-notch cowhide, genuine leather, soft.
Smells new.
Smells fantastic. I don't know if we'll do a gun pocket or not. I don't know if that's necessary, but this is a concept that we're playing with. If you guys see this, you like it, you don't like it, shoot us a comment whether you're watching live with us now or you're catching it later. Put it in the comments, let us know. We're thinking about launching a pure genuine leather, and then we're probably going to do like a denim, like a dark denim as well, just to have two different options to start out. I mean, these are going to be super high quality. They'll definitely be probably the most expensive thing on our site, but we want to make sure it is great quality. That's super important. We don't want stuff cracking on you and stuff like that.
Yeah, when you buy a vest or you buy a leather jacket like that, especially if you're actually doing it to ride with, you want that thing to last. It's got to take sun beating. It's got to take weather. If it's rain, snow, whatever it may be. So. We've looked at these for a while. We've been pondering it, but we're definitely going to do a denim one. Probably something that we may launch at one of the festivals this year, if not sooner. Denim one's going to be cool because it's going to have that rock, old school, with 80s, 90s.
Yeah, that punk rock look.
Yeah, driving that Camaro with the T-tops look going on with it.
Popping collars, Billy Idol.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have a festival vest that'll be, not a riding vest. This is obviously a very specific riding vest, but we'll definitely have something more affordable, lighter weight for patches and stuff like that Chris is mentioning. So, like I said, we already have some good feedback. We appreciate that. I don't know, definitely by riding season, which in Florida is every day, as long as it's not snowing.
That was yesterday.
But we will have them up. So we're going to share a story today. Again, it was a story that somebody shared with us at demonsbehindme.com under the resources tab. Share your story. Help someone. This is their Demons Behind Me story. This is how they overcame a hardship in their life. We share these stories. Somebody's going through something similar. They don't know how they're going to make it through. Hearing how one person made it through is going to bring them some hope. They know that it's possible to make it through. So we're going to keep sharing these stories. We're going to keep dealing hope.
That's it. So I'll go ahead and jump into it. Today's story is coming from Penny. Sent Penny a $25 gift card already for sharing her story. That $25 gift card is to the Demons Behind Me website, where she can use that gift card to purchase anything from the website that she would like to use it towards. So Penny's story, I'm going to jump into it here. I am a sexual abuse survivor. Due to the abuse, there have been beliefs and values I have adopted within. I have constantly made poor life decisions. These decisions, thankfully, were only in the area of relationships and choosing a partner. Because I did not feel worthy of anything, I always chose men who have been abusive in one way or another. I always chose men who have been abusive in one way or another. After looking inward and doing a lot of self-care and love, I am no longer defined by what happened to me in my childhood. I am perfect in making awesome. Am I perfect in making awesome decisions 100% of the time? Absolutely not. But I do know my worth and have become so much better at setting healthier boundaries. Self-reflection and looking at myself was not fun in any way. It was dark, scary, and lonely. There were times it got so difficult that I wanted to give up, but decided that was never going to be an option, and that the best thing I could do is live and love life to the fullest extent. All of those who contributed to my journey, whether it be a negative or positive influence, I am equally thankful for. I am still most definitely a work in progress, as there is no such thing as perfection. But I no longer allow my past to define and control who I am or aspire to be. thanks Penny for sharing your story. I chose Penny's story because this is something that we really don't hit on a lot. We don't get a whole lot of these type of stories, where we have like ladies, talk about some of the stuff that they went through in their lives, through a childhood abuse or sexual abuse and something like that. So one of the reasons I chose Penny's story was I was also listening to something the other day on a podcast, and they were talking about, the number of women that are, actually abused, and it's 1 in 2 women in some point in their life or have some type of abuse done to them. And when you sit there and think of that, I mean, that's crazy, 1 in 2. So, every other person that you will come across, every other woman you walk by has had something happen to them. And it's horrible. And it's something that, we as a society sometimes brush under the rug, or we shame people, or ladies for, whenever they go through something like that. I don't have any, sisters, like you do, Jim, or no daughters in that effect, but I could imagine, stuff that some ladies go through at some points. So I really appreciate you, Penny, for sharing your story. I love the fact that, you also put in here that you actually had a lot of self-reflection. That's extremely hard as well to do as individuals. Learning our own boundaries and trying to find our own worth is a struggle sometimes, because you got to literally separate yourself from almost everything to a certain point to kind of figure out who you are and who you want to be. And if you're a type of person, and there's a lot of people out there that are very self-reliant, they can't go a very long period of time without having somebody in their life. They need that attention and that affection, whether it be good or bad, a lot of the times. And learning how to separate yourself and take that time to learn who you are it's hard. I've actually had to do that myself before. It wasn't easy, but it's something that helped me, through some troubling times too, where I needed to kind of figure out who I was before I got involved with somebody else, and tried to give myself to them to where they, give them all that I had, because I didn't know who I was wanting to be, or who I was looking to be at that time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Penny. And this is hard stuff to share, and that's why we like to share it, because it needs to be shared. 1 in 2 people, that's absolutely insane. It's absolutely terrible. But 1 in 2 people are going through this, and they don't know how they're going to make it through. So hearing how other women have made it through this is going to bring them hope, and we want to share that 1,000 times over. Just like Chris touched on, kudos to you for taking the time to learn about yourself. Kudos to you for you understanding and creating your own identity, not an identity that you thought was given to you because of what you've done in the past. No, you create your identity. You decide who you want to be. You make that decision. You put boundaries. You put rules in place, and you follow those rules. There's going to be times where we don't want to follow those rules. But then we have to think, do we want to slip back to be who we used to be? No. If I follow these rules and these things that are important, I get to be who I want to be. Don't slip back to the temptation. So really great job there. You're not defined by your past. So there's two big things that I take away. One is everybody needs to set personal boundaries on what they agree with morally, on what they need from a partner, and they need to set those rigid rules. Deal breakers, some would say.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is we get into the relationships, and we love this person. They don't fit our deal breaker rule. You got to have the conversation with them, why it's important. But then we just kind of, well, it's not that bad, or we just start to minimize the importance of the boundaries that we've created, and that's where we end up in a place that we don't want to be, and we've already been there.
Yeah, you start making excuses for them too. Yeah. Like, well, it doesn't happen every day. It's only when this is going on, or if you had they had a bad day at work, or this or that, and you're literally allowing them to run all over you because you're the one making excuses for them. One thing I learned, whenever I was going through what I went through, with my past relationship, divorce, is that I just never gave that. I never knew what my self-worth was. I was doing everything to make them happy versus making myself happy. And I lost myself in the process. And when you lose yourself, that's where it's tough, because then you got to try to find your way back. You got to try to find, like, what used to make me happy. You know, once you finally cut that cord and let that person go, and finally get to the point where you don't want to be in that type of relationship, and you're not going to let that person run all over you and manipulate you, then you got to take steps back and try to find out, like, what used to make you happy, and what was the things that made you smile. And that's what Penny basically said she had to do as well. You know, she had to find who she was again. And like Jim said, kudos to you, Penny. We really appreciate you sharing your story with us. Stories like these need to be read as much as all the other stories that we read, you know, when it comes to, you know, like I said earlier, when people go through substance abuse problems, PTSD, divorces, cancer, whatever it may be. All these are what Jim and I want to make sure we throw out there for everybody to understand, that there's so many different demons that people struggle with, you know, and we're here to help you guys lay them all out on the table. You know, let's talk about them. You know, talk about it to a friend, family member.
Yeah, Donald touches on a good point. You know, learning and admitting these things is hard. But the next thing that I wanted to touch on, you got to set your rules, you got to set your boundaries. And I also want to make a point that, let's say, you know, somebody has an issue in their life and that's a deal breaker for you, but that doesn't mean you can't help them. And if they're willing to take the steps to get the help that they need to improve that issue, you know, I'm not saying you cut them off, but if they're doing what they need to do and they're getting to your boundary, that's okay. It's the ones that aren't going to do anything and you just hope that you're going to be okay with it, that's the issue.
Yeah.
So you set your boundaries, and the next thing is mindset. Every time I get on here and we talk about mindset, like, this is probably the most important thing, and this is why Demons Behind Me is so important. It's a mantra. It's something that you have to live by. It's something you have to tell yourself every single day, not once a month, not, you know, once every 6 months when times get really tough. You got to have that mindset. Cognitive behavioral therapy is, I believe, probably one of the most effective modalities of treatment with so many different issues, and a lot of the issues that we address here on our podcast. And it is all about how important our first thought is. And if we have a thought that's not correct, we need to change that thought, because that thought is going to lead to an emotion, and that emotion is going to lead to the behavior. Change your thought, change your emotion, change your behavior. That's it. I'm not defined by my past. It's exactly what you touch on, Penny. You just made that paradigm shift in your head, and you just created a clean slate that now you get to define who you are. And that's your new thought, which is going to create a new emotion, which is going to lead to new behaviors, which it did because you wrote this. So that is awesome.
Yeah. One of the things that always stuck with me, and it's stuck with me for many, many years, was, and I read it in a book, I don't even remember what the book's name was, but it's one of the things that he taught in his book was that you got to, anytime you start going to that type of dark place, kind of like what you were just saying, and your thoughts are running rapid, you got to tell yourself, I'm not my thoughts, I'm my actions. Your thoughts can take you, like Jim was saying, it can take you down a dark road so quick and put you in a funk, or put you in a depression where you're depressed, in a stage of where you start thinking these negative thoughts. But if you start thinking about what your actions are going to be, even though you had that negative thought, well, what's my action going to be to that negative thought? Do you do something total opposite of what that thought was? And it helps bring you back. So, and you can literally just sit there and tell yourself that when you start having those thoughts. And it actually does work. It's a great way to kind of get past those negative thoughts sometimes.
Yep, you got to replace the thought. You don't try to push it away and not think about it, because I don't know about you, but when I try to not think about something, I think about it 10 times more.
Yeah, me too.
You have to replace the thought. Leads to a new emotion, leads to a new action or behavior. So, spot on. Awesome. If you have a story to share with us, share with us at demonsbehindme.com under the resources tab. Share your story and help someone. We post all of our stories on our blog to read. There's hundreds of stories there to check out. And then we're going to select one every week. We're going to continue to read them because this is what's important.
That's it.
So.
That's it. We definitely hit on some good topics there. One other thing I was going to throw in there at the very end was, sometimes even when we listen to certain things, if you're listening to stuff that's negative and it's taking you down a bad path because of the type of lecture it may be, or music, or whatever it may be, the books or whatever you're reading, then you just need to stop reading or listening to that type of stuff. Change it up for a while. Go to something positive. Go to some positive music, some music that makes you want to tap your feet. It's a little bit more upbeat. Little things like that make a huge difference.
Yeah, there's a research term that is garbage in, garbage out. Meaning if you have bad data going into your research, the data that you output is garbage. Garbage in leads to garbage because the data is not accurate, your results aren't going to be accurate. Garbage in, garbage out, same thing. If you're putting nothing but garbage into your brain, your emotions, how you feel, how you act, it's going to be garbage out. So yeah, that's spot on. A lot of stuff. Hope you guys are taking notes. We're running right through them today.
Yeah.
Donald, video stories. We share these videos on our YouTube page. And then obviously they're on our Facebook page as well, our YouTube channel, which is Demons Behind Me. But we are working on, we have a tech guy coming on board here in the next couple of months. So we're going to set it up so that people can share their story with us. So we can have a conversation with them, more of a podcast type environment. But we'd rather you guys hear it directly from these individuals. It's way more powerful than hearing us kind of working through these stories and kind of stumbling through at times. But yeah, that is the plan. So really appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the your profile picture, man. You're looking good. That's awesome.
Yeah, like Jim said, we're gonna work on a way to try to do some video feeds. Hopefully, maybe we're gonna use split screens. Where the other person's going to be on the other side. If they can't make it here local, then we'll set it up to where we do a call, and then we can do it that way. We've actually had some of those, I think, in the past that we did there for a while, but we couldn't go live with them. We had to record them and then put them on YouTube. So if you've never seen any of those, go check some of those out. Some of those are really good. They're old. There's some great people that shared those stories. And hearing it straight from the horse's mouth, man, is sometimes more powerful. It's definitely more powerful than hearing it from me and Jim.
Yeah,
the emotion that's in their voice, their mannerisms, the facial expressions. I mean, it gets some of those stories are tough, especially some of the ones that we did with some military personnel. I remember some of those pretty detailed. Yeah, those guys, police officers and military guys, man. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate you and everything you guys do.
Yeah, echo that big time. Get your fresh gear, get your jerseys, your shirts, all your Clover stuff. This brand new hat, this is around for a month, and we're going to change the color. Get it now, get ready for St. Paddy's Day, or just, you don't have to be Irish to wear a 4-leaf clover. It brings good luck. I don't care if you're Irish or not.
That's it.
That's it.
So you gotta have green on St. Paddy's Day. You might get
That's important.
Isn't that right? And
Yeah, that's a rule. I think it's a law, actually.
Yeah.
Nick, what's up, man? Double thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. Any other questions, comments out there? We'll give you another minute. But yeah, man, I am hoping this congestion goes away. Holy cow. There's something going around the state of Florida.
Well, it's pollen too. Pollen's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The other day, whenever we walked outside, and it was the sun was going down, and the wind was blowing pretty good, and I could literally see it like a wave.
Yeah.
Like going, it almost looked like rain going through the air. It was like, what is that? It looked like snow falling. Yeah, it was crazy.
So. Thanks, Donald. Enjoy your day, man. Don't work too hard. Yeah, we're gonna roll with the vest. Yeah, it'll probably be around $200, but super high quality.
Yeah.
Top notch. Anything else?
No, man, I got it. I'm ready to go.
Well, welcome back, Chris. Glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I feel much better.
Guys, stay healthy, stay cool, have fun, have a great weekend. Yesterday's behind you. Move forward today.
Rock on.